Hey, Grand Rapids, did you know home prices are up another 15.5% year over year? Well, they are. Welcome to the Grand Rapids, Michigan, Kent County residential real estate market update with data through October 2021. My name is Rodney Constable. I'm a realtor with Century 21 affiliated out of Grand Rapids, Michigan. Year over year, home prices are up 15.5% in the Grand Rapids area, with the average home selling for $309,376. 1 year ago, the average home was selling for $267,914. For years, I've heard people saying things like home prices can't continue to go up. Well, when I hear things like that, I think about the input costs to building a home. And some of the major input costs to building a home are land, labor, materials, and regulatory costs. So if somebody thinks that home prices cannot continue to rise in the future, what they're basically saying is that land is going to get cheaper and more plentiful, labor is going to get cheaper and more plentiful, materials are going to get cheaper and more plentiful, and the government's going to make regulatory costs of building a house cheaper and easier. And guys, when we just think about these four input costs, land, labor, materials, and regulatory costs, do we really think that any of these input costs to building a home are going to fall in the future? I doubt it. So if land, labor, materials, and regulatory costs are going to continue to go up, then home prices probably will continue to rise in the future as well. The average home is selling after being on the market for just 13 days. When we compare that to the inventory of unsold homes, those homes have been on the market for an average of 68 days. What these two data points tell us is that if a home is properly priced, it will sell in a relatively short period of time. However, if a home is not properly priced for its location, condition, and amenities, it will stay on the market for an extended period of time, right now over 2 months. Next, let's take a look at the year-to-date new listings versus the same period 1 year ago. And again, the data that we're looking at is from January 1st through the end of October for 2021. And then any comparison data will be for the same years, right, or the same 10 months of the year, January 1st through the end of October, for whatever year we're looking at. In this case, we're looking at 2021 versus 2020, and we can see that the year-to-date new listings are down 6.1% in 2021 versus where we were in 2020. Somewhat surprising considering the fact that, there's been vaccines out for many months now. A lot of people are vaccinated, and, so intuitively you would expect that number to have risen versus where we were last year, but that's not been the case so far. Next, let's take a look at this same data, but look at it in a numerical format. And so what we can see is so far for 2021 through the end of October in Kent County, there's been 8,952 new listings come to market. Now, when we compare that to 2020, you can see there were 9,529 new listings for that same 10-month period in 2020. So we are down 577 listings versus where we were in 2020. Now, this is important because, anybody that's been paying attention, anybody that's been watching my videos or paying attention to the real estate market, you know that the inventory is really tight and it does continue to contract. And to further illustrate this point, let's go to the bottom of this chart and start on year 2016, and we can see that for the first 10 months of 2016, there were 10,754 new listings in Kent County. And when we compare that to where we're at now, 6 years later, we're down 1,802 listings, or 17%. There's 17% fewer homes for people to choose from than what there were 6 years ago. And so you can see that we're going backwards, right? And even if we stair step up, you can see that there was a drop off from 2016 to 2017, and then it kind of flatlined. We did tick up just a little bit between 2018 and 2019, as you can see. 2018, 10,317 listings. In 2019, 10,529. But look at that drop off of exactly 1,000 listings, right, between 2019 and 2020, obviously because of COVID. And so big drop off there. and and we've continued to drop off. So we really have a bottleneck here in that there just aren't a lot of homes for people to choose from. Okay, so that has really been a challenge, and probably will continue to be for a little while. But we'll talk further about that as we go through this video. Next, let's take a look at the year-to-date closed transactions versus the same period 1 year ago. So in this category, we're actually up 0.9%. And when we look at the closed transactions for Kent County, first 10 months of each year that we're looking at here, again in the numerical format, we can see that for 2021, so far we've had 7,787 closed transactions. That's actually up 68 closed transactions versus where we were in 2020. So even though there's been fewer listings, there's actually been 68 more, not a ton, but 68 more closed transactions than what we saw last year. However, when we compare where we are now to where we were in 2016, you can see that for the first 10 months of 2016, there were 8,535 closed transactions. So we are down 748 closed transactions, or 9% fewer closed transactions in 2021 so far than what we saw for that first 10 months in 2016. So again, you can see as we start from 2016 and work our way up, there's been a drop-off in the number of closed transactions. We're relatively close here for 2021 to where we were 2018, 2019, and 2020. But, again, we're going in the wrong direction, right? We want to see actually more homes coming to the market and more closed transactions. Just as the Grand Rapids area grows, that would be a somewhat normal pattern. But over the last 6 years, we can see that the trend has been the opposite. Next, let's take a look at the average months of inventory in Kent County. Now, in this area, I have more data available to me. So I have 9 years of data available. So I do produce that entire 9 years, where in the previous categories, I only have 6 years of data available to me. So that's why I can only go back 6 years on those categories. But here, we can see that we have 9 years of data. And the first thing that's going to stand out is that for 2021, we have 0.6 months of inventory. That's about 18 plus or minus days. Now, what this means is that based on our current sell rate, if no new homes came to market, we would be completely sold out of homes in the entire Kent County area in about 18 days, guys. And that is an extremely low inventory number. As a matter of fact, if you go down through this, you can see that the highest inventory that we've had over the last 9 years was back in 2014 at 2.3 months of inventory. And I can tell you that that is an extremely low inventory number in and of itself. And we'll talk more about that over the next few minutes. So why does inventory matter? Well, as we can see here, if you have between 1 and 2 months of inventory, you probably are going to experience double-digit price appreciation on homes. And that is exactly what we have seen for many years here in the Grand Rapids area. If you're running between 3 and 4 months of inventory, you would generally experience single-digit price appreciation. If the inventory built to where you had between 5 and 6 months of inventory, this is more of a normal, balanced, or neutral market where you might experience some price appreciation, but it would more than likely be in the low single digits. And if you're under 5 to 6 months of inventory, this is considered a seller's market, and that's exactly what we have seen for many years here in Grand Rapids. If you're over 6 months of inventory, this is considered a buyer's market. And if your inventory built to between 7 and 8 months, that's when you would most likely experience single-digit price depreciation. And then if the inventory built to 9 months plus, that's when you would likely see double-digit price depreciation. So 7 to 8 months of inventory, single-digit price depreciation, 9 months plus, that's when we start to get into double-digit price depreciation. If you would like to learn even more about the likelihood of home prices rising in the future, I would highly suggest you watch my information-packed Will Home Prices Continue to Rise video, which is out on my YouTube channel. I will also put a link to that video in the description box below this video. So what are the next steps? Watch my Will Home Prices Continue to Rise video. Watch my other YouTube videos. Subscribe to my YouTube channel for ongoing real estate education. Please give me a thumbs up on this video and other videos that you like. Leave a comment on my videos and share my videos on my YouTube channel with your friends, family, and colleagues. Also, please feel free to connect with me via social media and call me at 616-258-4782 if you are looking to buy or sell a home in the Grand Rapids, Michigan area. Thank you so much for being on this video with me. I really appreciate it, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.